In here, we pour whisk, 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 whisk.
You were that creature in the ginger beard.
Sturdy and ginger.
Like vampires, the ginger gene is a curse.
Gingers are beautiful.
You owe me $5 for the whiskey and $75 for the horse.
Gingers? Oh, hell no.
This whiskey is excellent.
Ginger. I like gingers.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Whiskey Ginger. My guest today is one of my favorite people on earth. I say that for all my guests, but I mean it yet again today, Miss Jackie Tohn. Thank you for coming.
Hi.
Don't introduce that yet. Cheers me real quick. Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you, Santino. Thank you.
Mm. And today,
Hey, that's nice.
for listeners, today we're drinking a little bit of Eagle Rare. This was brought to me as a gift. From a friend that came to see me do a show, and he said, I got to leave you something. I said, no. He said, I want to leave you a gift. And
Funny because when people say they got to leave me a gift, I say, yeah, leave it. Is that all? You know?
Well, but
Why?
you get, right.
Yeah.
You get really mad if they don't give you something that you really wanted.
Crazy.
You're kind of a
You
brat.
came all the way here without a gift for me. That's insane, yeah.
That's it. You do that to them. They
This
walk
feels
in.
like it's not pointing in the...
Yeah, you
in
just
the-
got to get it right to your... Here, you can move the arm closer
But
to you.
I didn't want to do any facial coverage.
You're good.
I
You're
go.
good.
I
All right, so
go.
introduce this sheep that's sitting on your lap.
Well, you're not the only
Full-grown
person
sheep.
with a guest today, okay? I come to podcasts with my own guest to interview.
Yeah, right. I
So
know.
I like to sort of derail the whole thing and then,
He needs to sign
Hey,
an
Glenn.
NDA, by the way.
He's so fucking stupid.
Why is he not saying
I
anything?
might kill. One day, I swear to God, I'll break his ankle.
Are you telling me the dog can't talk?
The mic is at his
Did you
mouth.
bring a dog that can't talk?
I'm embarrassed.
There he goes. Why did you name your dog Glenn?
Now that he left, I'm actually sad because
He's going to chew right through the camera wire.
I don't give him human emotions often. I think it's absurd. But then I'm like, oh, did I make him mad by calling him stupid and saying I want to break his ankle?
But every day I call my dog something else.
Yeah, I just
I go, get over here, you little fucking bitch.
bitch.
I say
Yeah,
it
like
all the
right
time.
when I
You
got here, he was
fucking
showing me a
bitch.
picture of the dog, and he was like, "She's a little fucking bitch."
She
But
is a little
fucking
fucker. I go,
love her.
get over here, you fucking bitch.
Look at me. I'm like putting
you're
my
squeezing 'cause you're
nails
about to-
into my own because of how much I love Glenn.
You murdered Glenn once.
Well, listen. When you love a thing too much, sometimes you have to break it.
You broke his ankle?
No, I just love him so much that sometimes I imagine not hurting. I don't really want it on public record, but I do hate love him where I have to grit my teeth and I
you
feel
wanna-
aggressively toward him because of love.
Do you ever play too rough with him?
No, I'm a little bit of a pussy, so like I'm careful. Like I just the other day, he was at the top of the stairs and he was looking down, and he looked like he was seeing a ghost. He wouldn't come down the stairs, so I'm like, bitch, I might carry you down the stairs.
Glenn.
You can handle this. Then a couple days later, I was at some store and someone was playing with him and being all sweet with him, and he yelped so loud, like when your dog yelps, like you step on their toe or foot or something, and you like want to kill yourself.
When I step on her neck, she does that. I step right on her
Right.
neck.
That last time you kicked her in the
Yep.
face.
I go, "Get
So I did that, and then this guy was playing with him, and he made a huge yelp, and he was at his low back, and he was like, "Yeah, these long dogs have low back stuff." And I was like, "You know, he hasn't been going down this. This is a stranger." I'm like, "He hasn't been going down the stairs lately." And the guy was like, "You need to carry. Unfortunately, you got to carry him."
You're
down."
getting dog advice from a complete stranger that you don't know at all?
Well, then
Don't do that
But then
ever
I looked
again.
it up because with dachshund mixes, they're so long
Yeah.
that it's so much fucking pressure on their backs when they have to go down.
That dog is so tiny. That dog is so...
So nice.
His back is smaller than my foot. My
Yeah.
foot is longer than his back.
But that doesn't mean he can't have an issue just because of its size.
Who told you that?
A stranger. I don't know his name.
Okay, so get the fuck out of here. If a doctor said that, okay?
But then I looked it up on the internet. The internet was like, careful with dachshunds and their low back.
Another thing that doesn't mean anything. I have AIDS according to the internet right now.
Cancer, both of
It's
us.
bullshit.
Dead.
It's total bullshit.
Dead.
Jews should
We're
not
both
be allowed to look
corpses.
stuff up on the internet,
100%.
especially when it comes to health stuff. Then it's gone.
Speaking of, I almost just choked on my mentholated holes. I did. I breathed in, and the whole thing almost went right down the trap chute. I'm glad it didn't happen. I would have been very
But listen,
embarrassed.
I don't trust people anymore because people give me advice about my dog, and it turns out it's fucking.
Yeah, she's
You know
never
what's- You
dead.
know what someone said? Somebody goes, she had diarrhea. The dog had diarrhea.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you got to put these crunchy things on there because we usually do like sweet potato and rice and all that stuff. Oh no, she needs these crunchy things to balance out the diet or whatever. Made it exponentially worse.
Pissing out her butthole.
She would fart. And it's you know how like slow-mo videos on YouTube, this is what I compare it to, when they drop like a marble in like paint or something, and
Yeah,
you see
and
like,
it
I mean, it was like, but it just kept spraying.
And what's crazy, it was in slow-mo.
Yeah, I see in slow-mo.
Of course.
Yeah, everything is in slow-mo to me. But it just, the visual of paint splattering out of these things on YouTube, it looked out of her butthole just,
Oh, I'm gonna
it was like a
throw up.
puff poof of air. Anyway, she's fine
puff-oof.
now. Cubster's fine now.
How I named him Glenn. He belonged.
Glenn, get in here.
Glenny.
Nah. Glenn, come here. He doesn't give a shit.
I named him.
There he
What up,
is.
homie? Come on. Yeah, good
You
work.
named him Glenn.
No, my friends did. My friend adopted him first. Do you? Now I just feel like an asshole. My friends, I think you might know my friend, but then if
Go
I say
ahead.
him now, I know now.
Tom Cruise.
Do you know my friend Tom Cruise?
Yes, I know Tommy.
Dax.
Oh, Shepard?
Yes.
Sure.
I thought so.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, it's
And
less weird because
Dax
you know
adopted.
him. So Dax and Kristen adopted him.
Right.
And they were, I was over there and Dax was really allergic. And Dax named him Glenn. And they was like, meet our new dog, Glenn. And then I came over and he was like, we're so fucking allergic. He and the baby. And she was like itching her little baby eyes. And they were like, we don't know what to do.
Allergic to
To Glenn, I mean, I guess certain dogs are
yeah, that's
really
right.
allergy-ish.
hypoallergenic. They're not hypoallergenic. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you know? Is there a
hyper-
test for that?
There's got to be, yeah.
Is it hyper or hypo?
He's hypo. No, the term is hypoallergenic. He's not that.
Yeah, that's what my dog is.
Yeah.
Because my
Right.
dog has hair, not fur. Mm-hmm. He has fur.
Must be.
But it sheds?
I never,
Does he shed?
Yeah.
A lot. See, right, it's hair, not fur. Or, I mean, fur, not hair. She has hair.
But it
All that
doesn't
hair
shed?
doesn't come off.
It's great.
Let me tell you something. It's fantastic.
great until I pull it off.
Fabulous.
I go, get the fuck over here, and I pull it right out
One
of my
time I
head.
cut it off. Wouldn't even make me sneeze. I don't know what the deal is. He's not. I guess he's not hypoallergenic, and they were super allergic, and they were so bummed because
They were
the
going to have to
reason
kill
they
him.
adopted him. That's right. They were going
Yeah.
to put him in front of a truck. The reason they got him was because when they have two young girls, and he's so friendly and delicious, he just doesn't like when babies are like playing with him too rough or whatever. He just is like.
Loves it.
He doesn't even go the other way. He's like here for the face batting. He doesn't even care.
But some small dogs love kids.
Yeah,
They have this
he does.
weird connective tissue to
He
kids.
100%
Well, maybe
does.
I'm talking about you and you know it.
See, you know it.
Yeah, he knows.
You know it, Sir
so they
Goodness.
just named him Glenn because nothing?
Dax. And the dog before Glenn that they adopted, this sounds terrible, like they give all their dogs away. They don't. Kristen's a huge dog rescuer and a dog foster mom.
Well, then eventually you do give them
she's-
away if you
right,
are
so
fostering.
she's trying to find them homes, but often she thinks she'll keep them, and then if it's not a fit, so she had a dog before Glenn that Dax named Pat Sajak.
Oh, that's good.
Pat Sajak.
Love Pat Sajak.
Full.
Yeah.
And
By the way, one
that
of the best
went
gigs
to
on
his-
earth, Pat Sajak.
Well, not as good as Vanna's gig, but actually might be better than Vanna's gig.
Way better.
Because Vanna's got to be in hair and makeup, full beat, tight
Mm-hmm.
dress, keeping that body tight with heels.
Pat's schluffy under that suit.
Yeah, 100%.
He's a schlub.
He's
You don't
gotta
know.
be a schluffy.
Also, I looked him up one time. He's from the East Coast. He comes here, films, something like 4 months out of the year. Then he flies back. So they just pack it all in. Then he flies back. He's one of these dudes. This is nuts. People should look this shit up. He has like a fucking hospital, a library, like a school named after him. He put tons of money back in his community because he's a fucking billionaire. I mean,
a billionaire.
he's got so much money. Do you think they make the same money? That's one thing I wonder.
Look, I am.
they might.
I feel like I'm first in line for obviously equal pay for equal work. I don't know that they're doing equal work.
No, they're not at all.
Right. So then for me,
Equal
then
pay
that
for equal
doesn't-
work is a good. That's the sentiment that we all should be echoing.
100%.
When somebody
It's
says
like-
equal pay, I go right. Yeah, for the same thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
100%.
But
You're
you
not going to
can't-
tell me that you're, yeah.
Guest stars don't get paid the same as the guy
No,
that's on the thing.
A series regular, absolutely
Yeah, it doesn't
not.
that doesn't make sense. But that whole thing is such muddy, weird water too, because there's other semantics about that in the industry that no one talks about. Like, someone's name for movie stars, someone's name draw is worth more monetarily box office wise than
100%.
others. So that needs to be
Yeah,
taken
that
into
is
account.
challenging. That when it's like
Nobody wants to talk about that. That you're
Right.
like, if it's like me and Matt Damon, and it is the first big movie role I ever get, and it's like me and Matt Damon, I'm in the whole fucking movie. I'm his brother or something.
You have a bigger part than him.
Yeah.
You're still not going to get
And
as
I
much
wouldn't
money.
deserve
and
it.
nor should you.
Yeah, because who the fuck? No one's going to see me.
Right, right,
They want
right.
to see sexy ass Matt fucking Damon, and then they see me and go,
Still sexy,
"That goofy
too.
guy is funny. That's
Yeah.
funny guy. I like him."
But they'll be like, the goofy guy's body got dope recently.
And then they'll go, "Let's put him in something."
And then everyone will say no.
And then everyone will say no.
Yeah.
And then I'll do an indie. It'll bomb so bad they kick me right out of Hollywood.
That's right.
But
I
I
still
end up
have the pod.
I got it. I got the pod. And now I'm living in Sundance. Things are bad.
Yeah, I actually moved to Sundance. Did you know it's a city?
Okay, I don't want to talk about business stuff,
Right.
but we're going to.
Right.
I have other stuff I want to talk to you about. But is Glenn sleeping? That's really fucking rude in the middle of my podcast. I'm not gonna lie. You brought a dog just to sleep? Wow. Okay. Let me say this, and I'm not placating. You were in a movie that made me so jealous that I wasn't a part of it. I didn't deserve to be a part of it because I had no business being in it.
Well, you did not deserve it. Maybe
No,
there
but I mean,
wasn't a
I had
spot
no
for
room
you,
for
but-
me. But I was so happy for my friends that were in it, and it was also jealousy, but also like not in an angry way. Like I watched it a few times because I thought it was so good. And of course, it was called Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Sure, Bogus Journey as well.
Bogus Journey. No, you were in a futile and stupid gesture.
Yeah.
And it was such a good fucking movie, man.
Yeah.
So cool. You got to play. Tell people.
Gilda Radner.
Gilda fucking Radner.
And
What was that like for you mentally?
what's so crazy about this thing is that not only was it like easily one of the greatest experiences in my life and something that I'd waited for so long and worked toward for so long that was so, excuse me, Glenn, gratifying. He's a real piece of shit. So gratifying, but also, and I'll get to that in a second, it changed my life.
Yeah.
Because then people went like, oh, that girl played Gilda Radner. Everybody wanted to get that part. And then people were thinking of me for other things and considering me in a way
That
that
they didn't
nobody
before.
ever had.
That's awesome.
And I've been acting since I was 9.
Wow.
And so I got,
And now you're 49.
I'm 80. I look unreal.
You look really fucking
Thank you
good.
so much. Perky ass titties. So then so what happened with that movie, actually, so I played Gilda Radner, but when I got the audition, I had like a small agent. And
You brought a small Asian to the audition?
Yeah, I just think it's cute sometimes to take a tiny Asian,
Yeah.
bring them with you to stuff, and then ask them to pop out. A tiny anybody. They could be white, Asian, but anything. And if they're really small and they pop out, sometimes I think that's a way to have casting and certain people like that
Wow.
remember you. Yeah.
Secret to the biz.
Yeah. A lot of
Secret
people
to
don't
the
know
biz.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
And if they don't like you, throw walnuts at them and run out.
Oh,
Yeah.
I feel, okay, don't do
Yeah.
that.
Like if you feel like they weren't paying attention or they didn't give a shit about you,
Yeah.
fuck you and
Fuck
throw
you.
walnuts all over the floor because they're annoying.
Oh, you got a lot of
And then
walnuts.
you get out. Mm-hmm.
But
I
that's
take them with me.
part of your deal.
Yeah.
So tell me,
It's in my
I
rider.
cut you off.
So, when I
It's probably the cleaning crew.
somebody's here with Glenn.
Hold on, let me look.
Okay, I just want to make sure nobody opens any doors.
Don't eat him. They kill him. Hi. That's okay. We're recording something. Can you give us a little bit of time in here? Yeah. Okay.
Did he run away?
Yeah, thank you. Glenn, come here. Glenn, come here. Come here, Glenn. This is so peaceful. This is hilarious.
Great. That's exactly.
We've never had a break like this.
Perfect. It's exactly what we wanted to be.
Yeah.
I think it's very.
And
it's
we're
very
back.
bad.
So
us for that tip.
So you got to play Gilda.
So I got to play Gilda, but it was so cool. So they called for this audition, but since the part of the movie, it's not the SNL years. But they were like, look, if you want to show us that you sort of get her essence, you could do a character from SNL, like a Rosanna Dano or an Emily Littell, just to like show us what, and it's for David Wayne, who's like one of my heroes.
Yep.
And it's just crazy. And they were like, if you want to show us a character. And so this could have gone either way. This could have gone 2 ways. I prepared them all the characters.
You did.
Yeah. And I had costume changes and
Jesus.
It was a whole thing.
They were going to give you the role.
Well, or they were going to be so embarrassed that they were like, thank you so much. You actually don't need to keep changing your shirt. Like
You're in the middle of changing.
We get it.
But I have these outfits.
I have these different costumes. Can I pronounce them costumes?
I don't have time in my life to not do this. I need this more than anything in the world.
That was actually just the case.
Yeah.
I had no opportunities. There was
Yeah.
nothing coming in. I'd been acting 20-something years at that point and was just like,
You had
It's-
bounced around and done stuff. It's not like you hadn't done anything.
But I also hadn't done a ton. Like I was making a living on commercials. It
Yeah.
was, and honestly, it was a godsend. I was actually really psyched. I wasn't like sitting around kicking a can. I was like, cool, I'm in that Secret commercial and I like made a little bit of money and I'm earning a living. This is fabulous.
That is good.
But I
The Vagisil one was a bad choice, by the way.
Yeah, and the herpes one.
Don't
and
do all
the
those.
Imodium.
Next time, don't do them.
That's okay. In the future?
Yeah.
That's fine. Hopefully there'll be a long time since they need. Although
You
the
will-
dry pussy stuff feels like as you age, it will
You
come
probably
at
do
you,
get drier,
come
don't
at
you?
you more. Yeah, I can imagine.
I just saw a commercial for that today that just said that KY commercial that said
Is your pussy dry?
Our moisture is all different for all different kinds of girls, and nobody wants to talk about it. But let's talk about it. So they do.
But then you're just gonna moisturize your puss on a Tuesday with just KY.
Well, I think if you're ready to
I'm ready to get down.
FUKK.
Yeah,
ready
I
to
pronounce
fuck.
it WCC. Weird.
If you're ready to fuck.
Fuck.
Well, if you're ready to fuck.
You're ready to fuck. Cuties.
Oh,
Anyway,
you know what? Hold on. Before you keep going, the one thing I should probably we should fill in the audience on what Stupid Futile Gesture is, because I think maybe people
you're right.
don't know or haven't seen
I
it.
think you're right.
It was a book, and now a amazing film. It also there was a movie before
There was
this
like a
movie.
documentary on
was there?
Netflix. Well, it wasn't initially for Netflix, but it wasn't called that. It was like Wild and Crazy and Drunk. Like it was also
Right.
3,
Right.
something like that. But
And it was essentially about Lampoon. It was about the beginnings of the Harvard Lampoon and then what led to the beginning stages of probably the most iconic, memorable,
controversial, subversive comedy ever.
Yep.
Because now we can do and say anything. This was a time when you couldn't do and say almost anything.
Yeah.
And they were offending equal opportunity offenders.
which is what I still want today. I still think today that should be comedy.
Same. It's 100%.
But I think there's more of us than there are the other side of the fence. I think more people.
Of comics there are.
Well, that's what I mean.
Humans,
but
I feel like everyone's like a little.
I don't know. I don't
So
think. See,
it's
I don't think
soft a
so.
little
I
bit.
think that's echo chamber rhetoric that we hear because we live in a liberalistic state of Los Angeles in a bubble like New York, and I believe most Americans still have a great sense of humor. They want to talk shit to each other. They want to
Right.
make fun of each other, and comics like Gilda, like Chevy, these guys and girls. They fucking broke this awkward barrier of not talking about stuff,
Yep.
which is what we need to continue because that's how anything is like made light of and feel
And I
normal.
think it's how we heal.
Yes.
And I think it's also how both sides of the aisle, which used to not even be a term because there wasn't such a chasm. There was like at least you could have a conversation with a person who was on the other side, but.
Not anymore.
No,
Isn't that crazy?
It's a crazy time.
I have a friend that literally stopped talking to another friend
Yeah.
because he found out that he voted Trump. And what I find so fucking disturbing is like, you can do that. That's fine. That's your life. But like, you're going to fucking not be friends with someone ever again. You don't want to have a conversation about it. I mean, I'm sure
think when
friends
it
do
comes-
things that you disagree with all the time.
I think when it becomes challenging is when you support immigrant families and you support gay rights and you support all these things that you know that this person doesn't support. And then you look at your friend and you go like, but wait a minute, there's people in cages. And then it becomes hard. I think it becomes hard when these issues are this huge
Yeah.
to look it becomes hard to, but I
It's
agree
true,
with
it's
you.
true.
I mean, I think the whole point, and I think Sarah Silverman does a great job where it's like, she's very specific with her views, but she's really trying to have the conversations and love all the people and love the people that she
Well, because
doesn't agree with.
Sarah's somebody that loves to fucking talk shit and joke around and push the buttons of other people and doesn't necessarily adhere to the PC thing
Right.
of what many
She
people
does
would.
it in such a smart way too.
Yeah, but that's what we should. But that's the
know.
whole point of all this shit. So, Futile and Stupid Gesture
So Futile and
is
Stupid-
basically about the beginnings, the impetus, the catalyst of the freedom of speech comedy boom that eventually turned into SNL.
And in an amazing way. I kind of don't want to spoil the movie, but it's the story. I mean, it's this age-old story. So he did the Harvard Lampoon. This guy Doug Kinney, played by Will Forte.
So fucking funny.
Sick. So he did the Harvard Lampoon, and then he did National Lampoon Radio Hour. And in the Radio Hour was Harold Ramis, Bill Murray, Christopher Guest, Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase, Gilda Radner. I think I said everybody. Ramis, Guest.
I think that's everyone.
Belushi,
right?
and that was everybody in the Radio Hour. And then I think it was Doug Ebersol, somebody Ebersol Dick Ebersol.
Dick Ebersol, yeah.
He was running NBC and he offered Doug Kinney National Lampoon Saturday Night. And Doug was like, TV is ridiculous. I'm a filmmaker. And he said no.
Yeah.
And then Lorne snatched every one of those motherfuckers and was like, we make an SNL. And then they made SNL. And then Doug, well, this part's a spoiler of the movie, so then I won't say.
Don't spoil for people, because I highly recommend watching it. But as, like, to me, what I'm curious about is, as a woman in comedy, and for back reference, we met because of comedy, and for someone like you who is so deeply embedded into the world of being a comedic actress and a comedian, what Gilda did and what people like her did, it was so big for women. So that's to me, it was such a cool thing to have you play, because I knew you, right? If I didn't know you, I'd go, fuck that chick, who cares about that?
Right.
But it's
I'm
cool because I know what that must mean to you, both during the filming and both outside of it, right?
Well, what's crazy is I think a lot of younger women, they like have an idea of who she is, but I was raised on her.
Yeah.
Like her greatest hits VH is so funny. I remember when I wasn't really working, I would hear an actor talk about something and I'd be like, that's such a fucking lie. They'd be like, oh, I can't believe I get to play her. I wore out that cassette tape till it broke.
Right.
I literally wore out the Gilda Greatest Hits VHS until it broke and we had to throw it out and there was no eBay and I cried.
Yeah.
'Cause eBay, and I was like, how are we ever going to get this? And I vividly remember what the cover looked like. And I don't have it. It's funny that I haven't replaced that for myself, but even if I did, I don't have a VHS player. But the point is, I was obsessed with Gilda.
Yeah.
And we have just similar ways about us. We're like just these Jewy little sprite things that have way too much energy.
Little sprite thing.
That have too much energy and are too much for a lot of people, but then other people are like, no, that's the right amount. And we have like similar like S's and our voices are similar. The only difference is that she's from Detroit, so like her voice is in the back of her throat. It's Gilda Radner.
Yeah.
Literally, our voices are almost like when I was little and I felt like I was too much or too raspy or too scrappy or too, it was like, but Gilda's like, but it's Gilda.
Yeah.
And then I got to play Gilda.
You didn't have to do much to change your look. You look exactly like her.
I didn't have to do.
You like curled your hair?
I didn't even curl my hair. When I don't have a stupid hat on and my hair is parted in the middle and then I put these little pins in.
Yeah.
That's
kind of it.
That's just it.
Because your hair is naturally kind of wavy.
Yeah, that was just all I did.
Wow. Isn't that that's mind-blowing to me.
It was wild.
It was
And
weird
there
knowing you for so long and then seeing you play her and going, oh, that's so weird because, yeah, of course she looks exactly like her, but I didn't even think about it.
I didn't even really think about it. And then I got the call and I was like, oh, and what's really crazy about getting that audition is that they had seen every other person in the whole city. Is the only reason I even they got so to the bottom. I'm not like shitting on myself.
They got so to the bottom.
They got so to the bottom of the barrel. They were like, we'll see her.
What's in the basement?
What's it for
Go
real?
downstairs and go get what's in the...
What's in Valley Village adjacent? And I was like, my unit. So then I popped over and the other two girls in the waiting room for Gilda were Latina.
Oh, shit.
Not a
They were
joke.
really fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Holy
They were like,
fuck.
well, maybe, like what? And that's fine. Like, God bless, anyone can play any part, but like, it was really
But
like...
that's pretty specific when you're playing... When
you're playing like one of the...
a real person's really hard.
who's
When-
like a Jew.
Characters are easy, but a real person, that's why I'm always like, why did they get that guy to play that thing? They didn't just get someone that fucking looked like him? But that's always
crazy.
weird. That weirds me the fuck out when they do that.
100%.
But you being a part of that thing, for us, for comedy people, I guess, was so cool to me, seeing and knowing people in it. I know John Daly, who played
Ricky.
Bill Murray. Rick played Harold Ramis. Who else did I know that was fucking in there? I mean, Joel
I feel like
McHale.
I was going to say, Joel, everybody. You
yeah.
know Seth Green, he played Christopher Guest.
I don't know him, but he
yeah.
did a fucking great job.
Do you know John Gemberling? He played John Belushi.
Right, yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
that
it
was
was
all
just
of
stacked,
us.
filled with great comics, and I know I'm rambling on about it, and I'll move on. It really did a thing for me because it's the reason that we get to be the way we are, and we're so like unapologetically goofy or mean or rude or fucked up or crazy. It's not always funny, and I think that movie really did a thing for me where it's like, not everything is fucking funny. Some things are mean or hurtful. There's a couple of moments with Doug where, his first girlfriend or first wife or whatever was like, you're a fucking asshole. Like you think this is all so fun.
joke?
You're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And we don't really get to be honest about that all the time, that we're totally flawed people, comedians and comedic actors.
And I think the times when we talk about how flawed and depressed and anxious and sometimes mentally ill.
Yeah.
We are as comics. We're talking about it because it's too late and we lost somebody.
Right. That's what's
and
a
we're
bummer.
like, I just got, it's like, no, we can talk about it. And there was like, comics are so sad. I'm like, yeah, we're also so joyful and giving you such joy, but also yes.
Yeah, I debunked that so many times.
Yeah.
Somebody goes, "Aren't you guys all depressed?" And I said, "That's insane." You know who else is depressed? A majority
Linda
of the,
in HR.
Yeah, exactly. A majority
Because
of America.
yeah, exactly. She has nothing going on.
Right.
Her husband's fucking the secretary.
Right.
This is
Right.
her Groundhog's Day is going on. I mean, we all have shit.
Ours is on display.
And also, I think it's in such stark contrast to how you think we feel.
Right.
And that I think is a fascinating thing because with Linda in HR, she's walking around every day shopping at Aeropostale, doing her thing in the Midwest, and that's fine, God bless. But it's not as surprising to find out that person might be sad. But this really funny, smiley guy who's making 500 people laugh is sad?
Yeah.
How is he sad?
How?
He's making all these people happy.
Oh,
It's like
he lives the
completely-
life.
Completely unrelated.
But I think that it just did a good thing for me, education-wise, for people that don't know anything about National Lampoon and the history of Lampoon and Harvard. I think it's a beautiful educational piece to really learn where that comes from, and then from a comedic perspective, what it really took to become a comedian in this weird cutthroat world of what would be SNL, the greatest institution of live television comedy of all time. But anyway, go watch that shit. But more importantly, Parallel Business. You're on probably one of the most successful Netflix shows has had in the past, I don't know, decade. I mean, is that not true? Is that a silly statement?
So exciting.
Don't you think
well,
so?
Netflix hasn't even been around for a decade, but
Yeah,
has
it has. It's been around for about 20 years. But they were DVDs back then.
No, I mean like when it.
You kids.
I mean, we're the same age.
No,
but
making
when it
content-
because Orange was the first show. Orange is the New Black was the first.
That probably is 10 years ago by now.
I think it's only because they're on there like 6 or 7 seasons.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's like only.
Well, then
but
this
anyway,
then this is it though. But she's on Glow. Jackie's on Glow, and I think objectively, it's one of the most successful shows on Netflix, and people fucking love that shit.
they just made a comic book of us.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
It's fucking crazy, dude. It's crazy. It's so. Look, I have a little bit of success guilt, but I have mostly joy. But what I was gonna say is like, I am highly cognizant, and I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself because of this, but that I'm in the time of my life.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
You're feeling
I'm
it.
in it.
But that's
I'm in it.
amazing.
And maybe I'll do like live, and I hope to live my dreams of like a one-woman Gilda style, Bette Midler style musical comedy Broadway show, and then maybe that'll be the time of my life. But like this Glow situation is
Fucking incredible.
yeah. I sometimes like as a person who I hate that I always have to preface, but I feel I do. As a person who tried so hard for so long to get anything going, and it feels like exponentially more. I don't know if this is true, but it feels exponentially more satisfying to be part of such an incredible thing.
Right.
When all the things I was scratching for that I didn't get were maybe not even as cool.
Well, of course not. I
So
mean,
you
that's-
like look
that's it.
back and you're like, how devastated I was that I didn't get that one pilot for FXX 7 years ago. Was the last thing I was even close to even being considered for. And I was like, this could change my life. And then didn't even get picked up. And then
Of course not.
I moved on.
But I hate.
That's a little inside baseball, folks.
I
Apologies.
hate when people say everything happens for a reason. It really irks me, but it's disgusting because it's partially true.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
Because somebody, well, everything happens for a reason, and you're like, yeah, well, fucking.
Rejection is
I'm worried
protection.
about bills and
And
life, so
yeah,
suck
exactly.
ass. Like I hate hearing that, but I know it is to be true.
It is to be true, but then it's also like, how many years can I walk around and try and convince anyone that I have any skills?
Well,
without anybody
you've lied
going
for
like
long enough.
You're not kidding.
Yeah.
That without being like, without having somebody go like, yeah, she's all right.
Right.
That's actually she can do the stuff she says she can do.
But I think you have that because, and you have this guilt aside the fact from that the Jewish thing, which you'll never get rid of.
No.
You can't get rid of that. You know
Fingers
that.
crossed. I know. It's
They tried. They
I
failed.
know,
They
I
cured
know.
HIV, but they can't cure
They didn't
being
even cure.
Jewish.
They cured HIV. I thought
It's
they just,
gone forever. It's gone. It'll never
I'm
come
really
back.
embarrassed that I didn't know that. I feel like they just
Well,
did
they found
that.
the second person. The second person
I just thought
documented was cleared of
I
the
just thought they've
virus.
been doing the pills that makes it so you
Yeah,
can't.
they're doing that too. But it just came out in the news that a second person was completely cured of the virus.
Magic Johnson.
No, but he beat it with money. He didn't beat
Okay.
it with pills. He beat it just be having money.
Sure,
yeah,
sure.
he was just rich. But
Did Scottie
the
Pippen
guilt thing.
help him?
I think. What'd you say?
Did Scottie Pippen help him?
Scottie Pippen has nothing to do with that. Muggsy Bogues that's the cure. If you kiss Muggsy Bogues, because he's a tiny guy. If I think the reason that you have that, I think many people have that in our position, quote unquote, is because you didn't crack when you were super, super young. And by that I mean when people
about
blow
this
up when they're a
lately.
kid, like you start
Thinking
when you're
about this
9.
lately.
If you blow up at 10, 12, 13, it's hard.
You're Corey Feldman.
It's just so
Honestly,
hard.
God bless. You're lucky if you're Corey Feldman, because otherwise you're Corey Haim. Oof. And that's, I mean, right? I
And
mean, the
he
options
gone.
are.
He gone.
The options are.
Because look at it like
gnarly.
this: who were the people that were famous when they were kids that like lasted through? Like Drew Barrymore might be one of the best success
but
stories.
That was gnarly for 15
Right.
years. She was like
So
a
hard.
drug addict and sick
Yeah,
and bad.
she went through all of it. But I mean, most people that blow up young have a really tough time sustaining, making it out of that muck era. I mean, fucking Justin Bieber has gone through all of these different
Oh my
phases.
God.
And I bet you in 20 years, he'll be like a George Clooney figure in the business where people are like, oh, we love that guy. And they don't think about...
Right, or Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, you don't think
there
about
was
the
like
shit.
15 or 20 years where we were all like, Robert Downey Jr. is going to die.
Right. And he was a tremendous train wreck.
Tremendous train
But
wreck.
it's also
He was-
because achieved fame at a young age, I think, does something both to the person and both to the people that surround them.
But the flip side of that, and it's interesting because I've been thinking about this lately, because if I got successful, it's a new kind of fun word about when you get successful as a kid. If I got successful when I was little, yeah, that would have been cool for things and okay. But the flip side of that is how when you're like 34 and you've been doing something since you're 9, and I don't mean casually. I don't mean like I was in a school play when I was 9 and I hoped like my mom was flying me to and from LA for auditions and I was having development deals with these monster people and the guy that created Roseanne and these huge things that were like, put your fucking seatbelt on, kid. Because this is going to be on 8 o'clock on TGIF and you're the star and this is your development deal and you're 14 and this is going to happen. We already have a time slot. Go. And then it doesn't go. And it's like, all right, I guess back to 9th grade.
Back to being me.
Like literal like gift baskets from studio executives, and then you don't get picked up, and then those people don't answer the phone from your agent anymore. It's like learning these things as a kid. When I was 21, I replaced, so 23, I replaced a girl in a pilot, then I booked the series. And I was like, it was with Daniel Stern and Judd Hirsch. It was on NBC. I was like, I was at ABC. I was like, I'm gonna be a TV star.
Right.
This is unreal. And then I got fired. And I got replaced by the girl that I replaced.
Jesus.
And I found out that I got fired because I showed up to work. My parents were in town. It was the Thursday night dress rehearsal, and they'd called it off, and nobody knew why. They'd fired all sorts of people, but I didn't know this. And when I showed up to my dressing room, the producers wanted to have a meeting with me, so I was going to park my car by my dressing room and walk over to meet the producers. It was like on the CBS Radford lot, and as I pulled my car. If this is a fake story, it has to be.
Yeah.
As I pulled my car into my parking space, a man was paint rolling my name off of it.
Shut the fuck. That's impossible.
Age 23.
He was literally
he had a long stick. He was not bending down. He had a long stick.
They wouldn't even
And he
get down for it.
No, sir. And he was paint rolling my name off my parking space. And my parents were like, are we in the wrong space? Like we just thought, we didn't even think anything of it. Then I went to go talk to the producers and they fired me and I freaked out and they were like, you're hostile. Told me I was hostile. Wow. And I was like,
And you are.
yeah.
Turns out you
And
are.
it turns out I keyed one of the cars. I put a banana in one of the tailpipes and I took a dump and the guy left his front seat open. That's not on me.
That's what he gets.
not
You
on
don't
me.
fire me.
What was
You
his
don't
name?
fire me.
I wish I remembered his name.
But it was at what, ABC or
Something
CBS?
Stein.
Something,
it was
something
at-
Stein is cheap, but funny. I'll take it. Something Stein. Goldman.
Also doesn't really thin out the options. But this was for ABC, but for some reason we shot at CBS Radford. But anyway, like these were the things that I'd gone through so many times. So I recently was thinking like, I had a conversation with a friend and he was like, it's kind of cool. And I'm not saying this to be a dick. I'm saying this as a compliment. It's kind of insane you didn't quit. Like that you kept getting these punches to the throat, these curb stomps to the back of that you were like, okay, payroll, my parking space, and like all these amazing things but I kept feeling like I was close enough. Like I was like, that was almost me.
Yeah.
And that was almost me. It wasn't
Yes.
like I was like alone in a canoe being like, anyone. Like it was like,
That's why you
there
kept
were
going.
things.
Yes. People that keep going when they
carrot
don't have
dangling.
anything, that's
Well,
a little
that's like
bit
when
hard.
you watch American Idol and the person is just like embarrassingly terrible but just their parents were like, go honey, live your dreams. And it's like,
Okay.
find a different dream maybe.
Yeah, maybe you should switch it up. Mm-hmm. Do you like other things? Do you think you
Different
like other
stuff you
stuff?
might like?
Well, see, that's funny because your parents seemed super supportive, right? They were like,
Ridiculous.
No. Yeah, they were like to a degree that was like unheard of, right? Like mine, the opposite.
My mom
where,
quit her job as a physical education. My parents are both phys ed gym teachers. And
and yet you're so out of shape.
I mean, not only am I out of shape, I can't kick, throw, catch to save my life. I can wrestle.
Really?
I can actually wrestle.
Well, because of the show. But prior to the show, could you wrestle? No, right?
but
Yeah.
it's funny. I want to hear about your parents, but I went into the.
I don't want to talk about it.
Fair enough. I went into Glow, and on the very first day, the stunt coordinator, now Emmy winning stunt coordinator Shauna, a tip of
the hat.
tip of a hat, and Chavo Guerrero is like wrestling royalty. On the first day of training season 1, I walked in, and we're comics, we're insecure, we're fucking loony bins, and I walked in on day 1, and I was like, we were about to start training, and I was like, if anybody feels like this might be scary or you might feel insecure, feel free to look in my direction because I guarantee I'll be worse at this than you. And it turned out that was super not true. But they bring it up to me all the time.
Oh,
as
now
this,
you look like an asshole.
Sort of, but also in this like learning way.
Someone's
of,
like, I've never done this before. And then they just shoot 3 threes in a row. Like, oh, I don't, who knows? Who knows how to do that? I guess I do.
Practicing forever.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not like unreal. It just wasn't, I had told myself this, I'd read myself this story for 20 years that like, I'm just not an athlete.
Right.
Like I do other things. I sing, I play music, I write jokes, I do artsy shit, but I don't do the athletic stuff.
Yeah.
And when given the opportunity and like not making a joke of something and taking it seriously for a second, it was like, I could do it.
And you're
it was
good at it.
Yeah, it's really
See,
cool.
isn't that a little embarrassing? Now that you show up, the other girls that aren't that good, they must kind of talk shit behind your back.
I think maybe, but this is another thing that I feel not insecure, but like, I always think about how other people will look at the way I say things as a working actor because I judged everything working actors said when I wasn't working. And I was like, oh, really? You guys are actually sisters? You guys really love each other? It's really, you guys are really tight? You guys are all in a WhatsApp thread and no one hates each other? That's not fucking true. But it's true.
It is.
We love each other.
It can be.
It can be. But
sometimes it's definitely not.
No. And season 1, there were like energies where there were like pockets where it was like, oh, you're not great in a group and this is challenging for you. You've been like a solo person.
Mm-hmm.
But then that person is even way more a team player now. I mean, I think even I was probably far more out for myself season 1 than I am now. Now I just see what this is and this thing we're making and I just feel like genuinely like I won the lottery to be able to be part of it.
Yeah.
And it's because of the Gilda thing.
Well, it's not because that's one of the reasons, but that's not the only reason.
I appreciate that.
So I don't believe in that thing. I think there's a million things that contribute to one thing.
Oh,
you know? Kind of like how someone's like, it's my soulmate. It's like, it's not your soulmate. It's just the
because
person
if
that
you
you
were born
met.
in Czechoslovakia, that
you wouldn't have never
be,
met them. So
you
don't
wouldn't
fucking
even speak English.
So all these things kind of come together.
Right.
I like to think it's like where there's billions and billions of bubbles of energy, and we are also just a collection of energy cells, and all of these things kind of coagulate and amalgamate to kind of make things work in a certain way sometimes.
And if you got out of your
helps.
car that morning with your right foot first instead of your left foot first, your entire day could have been different.
100%. So I think like the butterfly effect is so real. So I think that saying it's Gilda, it's not. It probably was a great movement, a needle mover for you. But you do it on your own accord, and obviously you're good enough because they didn't fucking fire you from that, bitch.
Yeah,
you ain't firing me from this, bitch.
Birch.
I mean, we've all been fired, by the way. When you talk about that, like it's funny because everyone's been fired from stuff or seen people get fired, and you go, sucks for that guy. But then you've been that guy.
I remember when I got fired. My agent at the time, who worked out of her back office, the most amazing agent, amazing woman. She worked out of like a little office in the back of her house in Long Island, and I remember her like reading me a list of all the, like, she's like, Lisa Kudrow got fired from her pilot before Friends, and this person got fired from this, and George
she was
Clooney.
doing it to build you up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Build me up, but also just like, this is true.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was the end of my career.
Right.
I was like, this is my biggest opportunity I've ever gotten. And all I had was this little manager working out of her back house in Long Island. And I was able to like do this and climb up and screen test and get the part. And it was this whole big thing.
That's incredible.
And then I didn't have it anymore.
But look at you now.
But baby, look at me now.
Look at you now.
I like all the art in here. I can't stop staring at this. Can I say something? This is gripping.
You like it?
I keep staring at it.
Well, it's supposed to be a little threatening.
Oh.
It's supposed to be a little threatening to the guest, meaning like, what's over there? What am I looking at?
Oh, I don't find it threatening, but I find it hard to not look.
I could kill you.
Yeah.
I could kill you.
Also, like, yeah, of course.
Look at me. I'm gonna kill you.
Alrighty, but like, you could totally.
I wouldn't kill you.
Oh my God, thank you, Santino.
You know why? Because technology today is so good.
Yeah, they'll catch
you. You can't get away with it.
Can I tell you though too? A lot of people know I'm here.
Yeah,
they don't know the address.
Yeah, that's annoying. Don't give the address away.
I'm not giving the address, but when I was walking up from my car, I texted Santino to find out where it was. I couldn't see the address. I happened to be across the street. He's like, the address is in big letters, big numbers,
Can't
right
miss it.
outside.
Can't miss it.
It's a black
Placard.
with black numbers. Mm-hmm. How artsy for your guests to not be able to. He's like, fucking numbers right on the side of the building. On a black placard in black.
By the way, this building is fucking huge. Like, this building has got to be like 50,000 square feet, and that thing is probably like one foot by 1 foot.
I was going to say that's 1 inch by 1 inch.
One by one. It's so small.
It's a postage stamp.
I don't know why they do stuff like that, but that's what art districts are. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's hip. It's cool to be
Because I was like,
unknown.
it must be this enormous, cool, hip-looking building, but I see no address. I don't even see a sign where an address could be.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be. Actually, there was a big sign for an address, and they ripped it down.
Oh, well, fuck you.
They were like, fuck that. People don't need to
Too
know.
easy to find.
Figure it out. How about figure it the fuck out?
We don't want to put a sign. There's a place on, I might have a sign now, but there's a place on Virgil called Squirrel.
Oh, yeah, Squirrel, right. It's a breakfast place.
And it doesn't have a sign.
Nope.
But if you are inside and you see a menu, do you know how they spell squirrel?
SQRL?
That's right.
SQRL. That's right, yeah.
Fuck
you. Yeah, fuck you.
Fuck you,
It's so annoying.
So God forbid you
LA
ever be able
loves
to
that.
find this place. Can't Google. Because I'm like, SQIRR. By the way, squirrel in and of itself, challenging word to spell because it's got 2 R's, 2 L's. Or 1 R, 2 L's.
No, it's 1 R, 2 L's.
But like
No.
the two.
Squirrel. This is embarrassing.
That's what I'm saying. But for my whole life, it's been that weird word where you're like 1 R, 2 L's, 2 R's, 1 L. What is? But then they're like, oh, okay, no vowels. Then you can't find it. It's the most hipster bullshit.
LA loves that stuff. And there's a place right around the corner from here. I don't want to blow it up. There is no sign. There are 2 security guards that stand out front. It's an invite-only boutique, high-end bullshit. You should drive by.
Is it a weed shop?
No. It's close.
2 security guards?
2 men in suits every day. Okay? And it's a high-end boutique clothing store, which I'll tell you all about it off air. And it's every fucking time I drive by these guys.
Line.
They always have this look of like, you don't belong here type of shit. Bobby Lee is coming to do the podcast, this was a month ago. He parks his car over there and he walks up and he goes, Bobby's so inquisitive. He's a child. He's a literal child. He's a 50-year-old child.
Kindergartner, sure.
So he walks up,
Built like one too.
He's got his box of crayons.
Yeah, 100%.
He walks up to the guy and he goes, what is this? What is this? What is this? And the guy's like, it's a private. And he's like, what is it? What is it? What is it? And he was like, "Sir, you have to keep moving, please." And because you can see inside the fucking thing, which is so.
Which also, by the way, I don't have to keep moving.
No, I don't.
There's nothing that says I have to keep moving.
And it was so rude.
And when you tell me to keep moving, I stop.
What am I going to do?
The way
tell me to keep moving. What am I going to do? I'm going to stand right
That's
fucking here and
correct.
stare at you.
Tell me to relax.
No, don't tell me to fucking relax.
Very similar.
So
Calm
looking
down.
inside, he can see the clothing, and he says to me, you can tell it looks like a store. And he's like, well, what is it? Why? What's the deal? And the guy was like, please keep going, sir. This is an invite-only location. And Bobby,
I'm not being cute. I'm getting hot.
Bobby did a good job. Of holding, because Bobby loses it a lot. Bobby could fucking lose it.
But it's so
and he said he was
funny.
an inch away from being
it's
like
so fun when he does.
Because the guy goes private invite only type of thing, and Bobby said to me, he goes, you know how bad I wanted to be like, I'll buy your whole fucking store and be that asshole guy. He's like, just because Bobby doesn't look like a guy who's
has any money.
Looks like that guy that goes there probably. You know what I mean?
He's in like a yellow crop hoodie and shorts.
And fucking flip-flop, smoking 4 Juuls at once. You know what I mean? He has the 3 hoodies on. But it's like he could buy everything in that fucking
100%.
store. But he said, I wanted so bad to be that guy. But inherently, comics are so ashamed.
And it's fucking self-deprecating.
So much
Hate
that
ourselves.
to do that,
Yep.
would kill us. It would murder the inside of you that you're like, I want to say it so bad, but I won't, just because I know it'll hurt my feelings more to hear myself say that.
100%.
Than it will to hurt
That's
him,
why
the fucking security
I have
guard.
trouble talking about, like, I think I call it success guilt.
You should, though. We talked about it. You should have success guilt, because I think everyone should feel a little ashamed of the stuff that they have in the success that this town brings, but don't not enjoy it. Like, I don't like the fact that, like, you know, it was always a shameful thing to have a nice car or to have nice things in our world, because we come from the grubby world of, like, working from the bottom. And so it's like, I'm sorry, but, like, I didn't land a movie role at 15 and then get rich overnight. Like, I worked hard to get things. So when I have a nice thing, I know I'll forever hide it and feel guilty about it. But to myself, I go,
I deserve it.
I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you, and I
proud of
deserve
you.
it.
Like,
I'm trying to, honestly, I'll go there right now. I'm trying to stand in my power. I can't even say it without feeling like a fucking piece of shit. But I'm trying to so much more, because this self-deprecating value bullshit, it's so exhausting.
It gets old. It gets really
I'm
fucking
like, isn't
old.
there something just fucking cool about, like, I find it so attractive in another person when I'm like, they're not braggy or boasty or full of shit, but, like, their just shoulders are back a little.
Yes, their air is different.
And it's just like, oh shit, you, like, run some stuff.
Yes, it's
And
nice.
I don't know that they feel that way inside, but when I look at a person that way, I'm like, oh, that must be so nice.
Yeah.
I'm over here like, yeah, it's a Lexus, but it's a certified pre-owned, and I got it. I got the 2011 and 2013.
Right,
So
you can't just cut it off at what it is.
When someone's like,
It's got to be like this diatribe of like, but I got it from my uncle who bought it from a guy. And you know it was used. You know it also, it's got a dent in the front of it. It's like, it's got to be this verbal diarrhea
100%.
explanation for all your success.
And then and I was like, and I always have to say, like, you know, I went a really long time without working, and, you know, I was acting since even with you were talking about
Yeah, you said it was
Futile
from
and
you were
Stupid,
9.
and I was like, I started when I was 9. It's like, well, that wasn't the fucking question, but I wanted everybody to know that, like, yo, I'm out here.
Yeah, you're working.
I'm just like-
WERKN.
Yeah,
Working.
correct. Squirrel
working.
working.
But
we
you- but
hate
that- but-
vowels here at Whiskey Ginger.
Well, they can't do it. Yeah, we can't do that here. That's not part of our agenda. Also, by the way, side note, this happened to me. That squirrel reminded me. I was going to meet people at a thing downtown, and downtown LA, when I first moved here, was fucking
Oh, you would
no
never.
way.
I ran into you downtown.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? It used to be a place where
And even in that time, I had a couple friends live down there, and I was like, "You're gonna get killed. You're gonna die."
it used to be so
Skechers,
sketch.
brought to you by Skechers.
Brought to you by Skechers. And now it's so fucking beautiful and nice, and it's moving at such a pace where I'm
Parts.
like, wow, this is not. It's getting so nice.
Because it's getting so nice, but if you go out of that,
Sure.
you're still like,
But
oh,
that's anywhere at some degree. But downtown now, all these cool places, and the cooler they are, the more you don't fucking belong there.
Right. The more
So
there's two guys in suits at the door asking you what you're doing in your flip flops.
you can't afford it. Like,
invite
I
only.
can fucking afford.
Yeah.
I was going to meet people, and no shit like this experience, but way worse. There was no door, there was no sign, there was no shit. And I find out much later when I run into a friend, you have to go through the back side the other way. I mean, it's like a bad
You're like
SNL
already
sketch.
home when you found out how to get in.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
fucking
back at the, I'm
stupid.
asleep,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, that's what it was.
Oh,
I wake up.
The alley. Sure.
But it's like a shitty SNL sketch about LA, which is so obviously true that it's like,
I remember years ago I went to a place and
they
there
try
was-
so hard.
So hard. And years ago I went to a place and the only indicator was like I'm angry. I'm getting hot. A very dim red light bulb.
Oh, fuck off.
Outside.
It's so annoying.
And I was looking, and I remember it was similar to this address, where I was like looking, and it was so dim that it wasn't like across the street. I could be like, oh, the red light bulb. I knew there wasn't going to be an obvious entrance. It was so dim. I was like under it, and I was like, that's what they're calling the red light bulb. Like I was so hot and so angry. Bye, Glenn.
Bye, Glenn. It's a little tiny sticker on the wall.
Yeah.
It's one little
it
tiny
was a
sticker.
sticker. Actually, it wasn't a light bulb. It was a sticker of
It's
a
a
light
sticker.
bulb.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so.
It
It's
was
not
infuriating.
like that's just get the gun.
Mm-hmm.
I got taken by my manager to like this unbelievable sushi chef here who like has 3 tables, and only managers and agents know that bullshit where they're like, we can get into this place. When I say I went to the address, and I'm not gonna say where. When I say I went outside and was actually scared, I'm not kidding. In all my years of being in LA, I was like, this is a dangerous. This is a dangerous.
I'm not safe.
This is sketchy. And of course, then you walk in and you're like, what is, this is like a door to Narnia. It was a completely different experience with like the richest Japanese businessmen of all time. Like you can see
Was
that
it a
they're
sushi
so
place?
wealthy. Yeah.
Funny, I went to a sushi place recently. It was in a okay neighborhood, but same thing. You wouldn't be able to find it. It
Never
was like
in a million
shitty
years.
strip mall, and then you have to go through the kitchen of another restaurant, but it's like fully invite only. There's
Love
like
that.
4 reservations a night. That whole thing.
See, this is the thing. And I feel a little guilty about going to those places sometimes, but at the same time I go, fuck it, man, that's awesome. I get the access to do that once in a while.
Right.
But I'm also the guy
Right.
that looks out at that and goes, yeah,
But that I feel like is what being a comic is. You're like, yeah, this is kind of dope. Also, I'm gonna judge the shit out of it and observe it and write 20 minutes
I'm
on
gonna talk
it.
shit about everybody in
But
here.
Some of the best fish I ever had.
Ever.
Some of the.
Ever.
I don't want to interrupt us. I wonder if the person who is in the other room
Let's check.
has left.
Go look.
door
Go
open.
see for Glenn. This will be our commercial break hour. We'll just like keep cutting to stuff.
Make sure that the door's not open. That's okay. Just make sure the dog doesn't follow you. Thank you. Good night.
Night. Wouldn't that be so funny? Here's what would be the funniest thing for the fans that are listening or watching. Jackie keeps looking at to see if Glenn's gonna follow the cleaning lady out. What if the cleaning lady really hated dogs? And she came in and she was like, no, I like it. And then she's just kicking him when we don't see. Is he okay? No, he's okay.
Oh, cute dog.
Cute dog. Is this
he's
your
a
dog?
sweetie.
Is this your
He's
dog?
so sweetie.
Sweet dog.
Both of us doing this terrible accent. We should-
Yeah. But no, it's nondescript. You don't know what that is.
Not only was it nondescript, it was almost identical to how that woman sounded.
Well,
So
we were just
yeah.
repeating what we heard. Do you?
Performance artists.
Does it bother you when people don't know how to feel about your dog? Because it bothers me when somebody goes like, my dog is fucking harmless. When she like goes up to somebody and they go, and I'm like, really?
Well,
this
I
is
noticed
the
that's
dog.
Like, sometimes old women, I feel, are
Ah.
like skittish around dogs.
Because they're afraid.
I have no idea, but like kids love him. Like I don't think
Big
but
dogs make
But I
sense.
do know what you mean when people are like,
You're
or
like,
when
really?
we're walking and I don't pull his leash tight because he's 14 pounds.
Yeah.
Hi, Bonnie.
Like, what could he really do?
Come on, Beanie.
Like, imagine he couldn't even get up on the fucking chair right there.
No, because he's a dumb idiot.
But imagine if he bit you.
Hello, sir.
It wouldn't even hurt.
Yeah, but do you know something? His heart is the size of a Cadillac Escalade.
That's how you talk to your dog. Everybody has
Yes.
dog voice.
And one other thing that people at home should know, these ears are made of 100% silk.
Silk.
Yeah, silk from silkworms.
You know what my dog voice is?
Good.
Like this.
no, you don't.
I do for it sometimes. No, sometimes
But you do go like, she, you fucking bitch.
I go, hey, come here, you son of a bitch. Yeah. Yeah, I grip my teeth when I talk
Me
to her.
too. I love
Yeah,
him
you
so
have
much.
to.
It's my third costume change. I feel
don't
fine
like
about it.
This is?
Yeah, because I'm so hot and I took off, I had a leather, then a sweater, now a tee.
What is it that's making you so hot? Is it the thing on your hat that says anxiety? Do you think that's what it is?
What are you talking about?
Just putting it out there.
No, I feel warm. I feel great, but I feel warm. Also, like, this is one half a shot of nothing, but I think it's making me a little warm.
What?
Glenn's in my lap. I'm having a great time.
He's falling asleep. Glenn is falling asleep yet again. You want to have some drink? You want to drink some whiskey? Do you want some bourbon?
You're a whiskey man? Hello. Hi, I'm glad. And sometimes I love whiskey.
That does
Can you
kind
edit
of
that
sound
out?
like what he looks like.
Yeah.
No, we're going to leave that in.
I'm a CPA. Now, my number one job, crunching numbers. Oh, guess I'm pretty tired. Too much taxes. It's tax season.
My dog just got fired from her day job.
Which was?
We're pissed. We are actually pissed off. I'm not going to lie. I fucking got her a
Right.
job. I had reached out to an executive at Sony, and she was an executive assistant,
Okay.
and she got fired.
She got let go? I'm sorry.
Well,
that
here
sucks.
she is. It is public knowledge
Okay.
that you're not supposed to be on Facebook on the work computers. Here's my dog. She's on fucking Facebook.
right.
She's supposed to be organizing a general that they're going to have that afternoon. She's on
she was on Facebook?
talking shit about her boss.
Oh, I was going to say, that sucks.
So she got fired.
and that was, what's his name, Stein?
It was Bergenstein.
Yeah.
Mike Bergenstein. Ari Bergenstein's brother.
Right, of course.
Daniel Bergenstein's son.
Son.
He runs the studio. It's like you have to at some point.
You can't be on Facebook. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
so she
yeah.
was on Facebook. So now, every day I'm in the room. I walk into her room. She's on her fucking phone. And I'm like, are you going to get a job?
Right.
Are you going to get a fucking job?
Yeah,
Are you even going to look for a job?
But at this point, it feels like she's addicted to social media.
You know what she does? She sniff at me and then just gets right under
Sometimes
the
when
bed.
he does that, I go, God bless you, and I get the fuck out.
She does that.
Yeah.
My dog does the nose thing.
He does, and I always go, God bless you, Glenn.
Bless you, Glenn. Sleepy Glenn. Hey, so I want to talk to you for another hour and a half, but your time is valuable to me.
Good.
Tell me when Glow would be going again.
So exciting. So we wrapped season 3 a few weeks ago.
Right.
And then
When does it air, I guess is what I meant.
We actually don't know. So normally they're funny with, release dates and pickups and
Netflix is kind of weird about all that shit.
And numbers. Like they sort of don't tell us a lot.
Yeah.
So we don't know when it's coming out. We had the last 2 seasons were like end of June. Mm-hmm. But this season, it might be later because Stranger Things looks like it's coming out in early July.
Season 3.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know they were doing another one.
I think season 3 of
This is
Stranger...
3.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
So season 3 of Stranger Things is coming out,
Those kids are like 30 now.
Yeah, they're 30. It's crazy. 11. Doesn't track. She is now a grown-up.
She dresses... She's so... pretty for a young girl, and it's like gross to say that because I know that's like not right.
No, but I mean,
but I'm like,
what's fucked up is like I as a woman can say it and you as a man can't. But like, yeah, she's like a beautiful young.
She's a pretty
thing.
young
It's
girl, and it's
crazy.
gross because I'm like, wait, she shouldn't look like that. She
Yeah.
should have braces and look stupid
She's
and have
like
bad hair.
Maybe 13 now.
Oh my god, it's really annoying
But
to watch.
there was like some real public thing about her having a boyfriend, and I was like, we shouldn't know about
That's
any of this.
repulsive.
Hopefully, they're just holding hands. This is like all way.
No,
too
but that's
much.
repulsive. That shouldn't even be, the rhetoric shouldn't even be boyfriend. It should be like, first of all,
She's
it shouldn't
a friend.
be. It shouldn't
Yeah.
be anything. It should be just she has friends and she's in school and she's living her life.
100%.
That's that.
And they're
you
like,
wanna-
she and da 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 broke up, and it's like this big. He's
that's
like this
fucking
big
gross.
pop star. Or
See,
something.
that's why I'm saying.
This is good. This didn't happen to me when I
I'm
was
telling
10.
you because
I
I think it fucks with people.
Well, looking back, speaking of all things happen for a reason. Looking back, I have truly nothing but. I mean, there was a lot of gnarly ups and downs, but those really young ones, I think it's a godsend.
Relationship wise, you're saying with you, like did you, yeah,
Like when I was a kid and I had a boyfriend and he was 20, I was 11. I think it's really good that the career wise that stuff didn't.
Yeah, but here's what I mean. They
Maybe
dig
I
into
would've been
you.
okay. I don't know. Who knows?
No, you wouldn't have. I just don't think so.
My anxiety
because
had,
I think
yeah.
you being your personality would have not boded well in that
Right.
situation. In fact, I think most people don't, but you would be way more susceptible. And you being I'm the same way. I know it would have been really detrimental for me to have any sort of success.
And if
as
people
a,
think
as
I'm
a
like,
youthful person.
feisty and a lot at this age, I mean, I was off the rails.
When
as
I
a
met
kid.
you were out of your
I
your
was
mind.
off
yeah,
the rails.
you've landed the plane a little bit.
Yeah.
But it still does bounce off the water a couple of times to get back in the air, and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. We ran into each other again at sushi, and
So
that was like
accurate.
the most anxiety fueled sushi I've ever had in my life because we had about an hour and a half
We
conversation
did.
in 15 minutes. We packed everything in.
But that was also, I feel like that was before all this stuff
It was.
going
It
on.
was, but you were doing
and I
some-
was
you were-
like
you were
on an
about to try
audition
something.
or
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
And it was just like still just, I think also at that point, like, I think I was 34, 35 and just like being in the rat race, and it makes you crazy. When you're in the race for so long and so close so many times, it makes you a little nuts. Like
Yeah.
it's really challenging. I've reconciled most of these emotions. It's really challenging to be happy for other people.
Yeah.
It was just.
Did you ever be honest? Have you ever been really unhappy for somebody,
for
but
sure.
then have come around now and been like, you know what, I'm actually happy
Oh
for
my
them again.
God. I don't have, I genuinely, this is one of the things I'm most grateful for about being in the place I'm in now career wise. I'm happy for everybody.
Everybody.
Great. I appreciate that. No, but like it's very, like my friends.
Yeah.
But like when a random person
Yeah, well, you don't- who
still
cares
like
what
is
they do?
taking over or whatever. We'll talk about that off the air. But like,
Mm-hmm.
of course, certain things are hairs across my ass. But often, like I can't think of a time in the last many years where like a friend of mine got anything and I wasn't just fucking overjoyed for them. But it used to be like, well, here I am banging my head against the wall. I paid $25,000 of money I don't have. I'm going to be in debt to make this album when I was making music. And then a friend of mine made her album for no money in her closet
And that was Jewel.
and she lived in her van. She lived in her goddamn van. Made her album in her closet and got like all the songs placed on like Grey's Anatomy and this show and that show. And I was so bitter.
Yeah. You would be.
Because I was like, I have nothing to show for any of this.
This town is very everything or not. It's all or nothing.
And I just was like, and this was my really close friend who, by the way, was wonderful and talented and also broke and also had dreams. Like
Right.
I look back on that time and I'm grossed out by that person.
That happens most of the time. You act like that the most when you are at that low position, right? Because when people get success, they usually go, I'm really happy for everybody. But it's because you yourself are gaining.
I feel satiated and I
Yes,
feel good and I
exactly.
feel seen and valued and validated in a way that I was scraping for so many years. And I've used this term quite a few times since I've sat here, but like too much or, she sucked all the air out of the room. And then when I went into Glow and did the exact same thing, they were like, just right. So it's like,
that psychopath was
right,
perfect.
100%.
Get her back in here.
They
She's
were like,
nuts.
that fucking bat is what we're calling for.
But isn't that the beauty of what this business is, and not to be too meta for some of the people that are probably like, oh, these fucking idiot actor bullshit. But I think there's some of the beauty of what happens is your thing does eventually kind of fit into a thing. It's just difficult sometimes. That's all. Like it's really hard.
It's such a comically profound way to put it because it sounds shallow, which is like your thing finally fits into a thing, and it's really true.
It does.
It's like when you find your person, you're like, oh, my crazy fits your crazy. It's such like a fucking Facebook quote,
works.
but it just does. It is true.
Yeah, it does.
And for all the years and things I'm trying to change and be, maybe I can, if I talk in a higher register, then I won't be so fucking gruff all the time and turning into Lewis Black in my 30s. But like these things, and then you just go like, oh, cool. The times where it really works and fits and it's the most exciting for yourself and the people around you who are looking for that, it's magical.
Yeah, it is. Because they are. They definitely are looking for it. Also, I just imagine you as Lewis Black for the past like 14 seconds of you going, you don't fucking know me. Just the finger wagging around.
I mean,
you're very profound like that. You have that kind of, that similar kind of energy.
just anger, Jewy, raspy.
Anger Jew Raspy. Yeah.
Have you ever seen Jurassic
also
Park?
Tiny. Jurassic Park? Jurassic Park? We've got to get out of here. It's just everyone's in a jungle. So Netflix hopefully will release that in June or July.
Well, actually, yeah, we think probably July or August now because of Stranger Things, but we don't know.
Wow.
They haven't told us about a season 4 pickup. They haven't told us when we're airing.
But they don't do that, right? That's not their thing.
Yeah,
They usually just don't say
really,
anything.
Like, we don't know. Yeah. I mean, we think people are watching the show. People seem to like it. They're making a comic book out of it. And they're making dolls and they're...
Yeah, you're an action figure, huh?
I'm not an action figure. Just the two lead girls.
You shall be at one
Marin
point.
Isn't even an action figure. He should be, but
Really?
I think it's just the two girls. Like they made like those Funko things.
Yeah.
And then, but we're a comic book, and
That's cool.
we're on T-shirts. It's like it's like a crazy.
Do you get on
thing.
with Mark Maron?
I do.
Because he's the only other stand-up comedian on the show, right? Is anybody else do stand-up?
No, just me and Marin.
Right, that's it.
But then there's like another live performer. Like there are these girls, Kimmy Gatewood and Rebecca Johnson. They're improvisers. They're in like a comedy trio called the Apple Sisters.
Oh, cool.
And then Kate Nash, who's like a British pop star.
Yes.
She's on the show. So
Singer, Kate Nash.
yes, singer Kate Nash.
She has a great song that I loved, and now the name is escaping me. It's
from that foundation. That rocks in my foundation.
Holding on to the show that I can't. I love that fucking song.
She's delicious.
She goes, I'd rather be with your friends, mate. They are much fitter. That's a great fucking
That's a great
song.
song.
Yeah, she's good.
And she's still making incredible music, and she's indie now, and she's like amazing.
She's great. But as far as like
Oh,
the
about Marin.
stand-ups goes, you guys are, that's it.
Marin and I get along great. You know, he's so himself that when he's himself, you can't ever take it personally, but sometimes you want to. Like in the I remember season 1, I was like, morning, Mark, because he's not feeling it at that hour. I went, morning,
When
Mark.
is he? What hour is he feeling?
You're not wrong, sir. You're not wrong. But especially in the morning, you're like, oh
Yeah.
God, this isn't going to go well. It doesn't go well at 5 p.m. It's not going to go well.
I never
at
seen him before 10 p.m.
7:15.
Yeah,
Correct.
fuck that.
So I'm like, morning. Or I said something like, what'd you do today? I was just being silly with him. And he's like, yeah, it's a lot. And I went, in the time it took you to say it's a lot, you could have just said good morning.
Oh, and?
But it wasn't, but nothing. But he's like, all right, Tone. And he's always making fun of me for being super Jewish. We got in an argument at the ArcLight because we were doing a Q&A, a SAG Q&A. And we were all in the elevator. It was an elevator for 6. And there was, I think, 15 of us in it.
Oof.
And we were packed in, and it was supposed to go up, and it was going down. And I was like, I don't like it. So when it went down, I got out.
Yeah, me too. I would have gotten right the fuck out.
And I was like, I'm going to get out. And he was like, everybody already knows you're Jewish. You could just stay in the elevator. You don't have to make a Jewish scene in the middle of the ArcLight, whatever. So then I got out, and then when I went downstairs, I was like, okay. The guy wasn't feeling it. And he was like, you're being real sensitive today. And I think what it is like, he wanted to get out.
Of course.
He wanted to get out. And then I got out. And then he was like, all right, Judy. It's like, but I think we're a lot more similar than either of us.
Oh my God.
think we are.
Yeah.
I think he's like surface more curmudgeon than I am, but we're the same.
You're the same. You're just the curmudgeon is
fucking,
yes, anxiety fueled. Your energy's just way higher. His comes out in a different format.
100%.
Yeah. His comes out with his cats.
And his comes out 100%. His comes out in like a campy, bothered, very low energy. Nothing but like everything bothers me, but I'm quiet about it, and everything bothers me, but I'm frenetic about it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Everything bothers me, and I have to talk about it. And if I don't, I feel like I've let myself down.
Yeah, 100%.
Like I might have to tell you how much this makes me mad. I have to.
I like him so much, and
he's fucking great.
Yeah, and he makes me like. I opened for him at Dynasty a month ago, and it was glorious. And his crowd couldn't have been kinder, and he couldn't have been kinder. And like, I just think it's really. I think the little bullshit talking that we do, for me,
it's love.
I hope he feels that way too.
Yeah.
But it feels like love. It doesn't feel like I'm talking out of school about it here. It's like. I'm sort of saying it as a badge of honor.
No,
like,
of course. Well, listen,
we talk shit to each other, and it's cute.
I think that's the way he is. Listen, I've from the Comedy Store and seeing Mark. This is a story that I don't know if he wants me to tell or not. I don't give a fuck at all. But it was just really, it was the sweetest moment I've ever seen from him, because we say hello and we it's such a community at the store that whatever. But when I was doing the Showtime show, I'm Dying Up Here, that got fucking canceled. Rock on. We were going to be. It was like put in a nomination.
We didn't talk more about that.
No, I don't want to talk about that fucking thing. It's gone. It's about it being canceled.
No, I liked it so much.
Oh, well, that's very nice.
Yeah.
But what happened is they were putting on our name in a hat to be considered to be Emmy nominated, and they were fishing it around to people that are a part of the Academy voting or whatever. And Marin came up to me in the hallway of the store, and he kind of like grabbed me by the arm a little bit, and he was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know I voted for you." And I was like, "What?" I didn't even know that I was in this thing.
Oh, in this pool to even
I didn't
become
know.
a nominee.
I didn't know.
That's how it happens. It's
Yeah.
like Emmy voters vote for who they think should be the nominees, and
Yes.
then vote.
Which, it's all a crack system. It's all such a fucking scam anyway. The whole thing is like, ugh. But anyway, but when he told me that, I had no idea what he was talking about, and he explained it a little bit. He was like, "Yeah, I voted you for the show because you're great on the show." And for Mark to say that in a very condensed format, it's like me saying how much I enjoy you for about an hour.
I was just going to say, it's like you going on, complimenting someone for 20 straight minutes.
Exactly.
Him acknowledging your presence is like, yeah, you got to.
Well, he said it was just very nice, and Mark is a peer. I mean, he may be older, but like, the Comedy Store does a thing where I don't give a fuck what level you're at. You're a fucking peer when you're there, because we're all respected on this level. It's like, dude, we work the same stage, and the comedy thing is like, you give respect no matter what level they're at. Sebastian Maniscalco is one of the richest comedians in the fucking world. He does the same 15 minutes that you do right after him, and he respects you the same because it's that thing. And when Mark did that, it really did mean a lot.
The richest.
Sebastian?
Yeah.
He's one of the highest earners. Yeah, he's one of the highest earners. Yeah, he's incredible.
No idea. I know he's incredible.
Probably one of the best live acts in comedy.
Sickening.
Yeah, period. He'll go down as one of the best. But Mark doing that was... So it meant a lot. Anyway, it just showed me who Mark really is. Even though Mark does the other thing. Oh, he's a sweetheart. He's a sweetheart. I think he just also has to still be who he really is, which is curmudgeon-y and hey, get out of the elevator, you Jew. We know it, you Jew. That has to exist, but the other thing is so real. But that's probably why I really like him, because you see who he really is. Like you get to see who he really is, and also quite talented, turns out. You know what I mean? Like, it's so funny of like, here's a guy
so good on
he is very good, and he's a consummate comedian. He'll always be a comic, but this is the first time, maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but this is the first time I've ever seen him in something extended character. He's probably done a bunch of small stuff, but not being rude.
I think he would even agree.
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever seen him like do something big and lead heavy, and anyway, and it's cool to see, because I think it's a good group of people, and there's no one that's bad except for one person. I'm kidding. It's you.
Like,
you're the worst on the show. No, you're great.
Anyway, this has been great.
This has been great.
Thanks so much for having me.
She goes, cries in her car.
Are there any cheeses around? I should probably head out.
Hey.
Thanks for having me, Andrew. Never called you Andrew in my goddamn life.
Never.
Sorry,
no one does. No one. Santino's always been it. I am.
Barely touched your fucking whiskey. Now I'm not asking you to shoot it right now, but.
Well, no, I've been sip-sapping
All right,
it.
little Cipolinas.
Well, because I just, I like the conversation so much.
You steal my beating farts.
Are you flattered? Are you flattered?
Fatter. I'm fatter.
Fatter, I'm
Remember
fatter.
that?
Yeah, fatter, I'm flattered, I'm fatter.
We
So
did it.
hopefully it'll come out in the summer, the late summer, and we'll get to see you. I do thank you generously for coming and doing
is
the
my
podcast.
pleasure. I'm so glad
This
we
is
made
super
it happen
fun.
today.
Do you want to plug anything else? Do you want to say anything else? Do you want to say hey to your grandma if she maybe watches? Do you do you have one that's alive?
Nope. But I wasn't gonna until you
Do
said
they
that.
do they have
wasn't
YouTube in heaven?
Well,
They
you
have
gotta
dead
believe,
tube?
You gotta believe in heaven first.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. What do you believe in?
I don't know. I have trouble wrapping my brain around
Reincarnation? Will you come back as
that. I have an easier time wrapping my brain around than a heaven because I feel like I don't know what this is and how it got here and if there's a spirit and if there's energy and if energy doesn't die, where does it go? So metaphysically but also scientifically, I don't understand where the energy goes.
into things? It goes into things, into this, into that, into that. It goes into things because they need it to build new things. So you'll be in stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Necklaces, amulets, pretty beautiful jewelry.
You'll be jewelry.
Oh, cool. Love being jewelry.
You know what I'm gonna be?
Who?
Shoelaces.
Wow.
Yeah, I want to go everywhere.
Work boots, hiking boots, different boots. Fun.
Work boots, different boots. I want to be in so many different kinds of boots. I love boots. I want to be a boot guy. I'm a boot guy. That'd be cool if you could pick where your energy ends up.
Reincarnated and you're
I'm a boot.
Yeah, you're.
I'm a gay boot. Why did I become a gay
gay
boot?
laces.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
you're
gay
gay
laces.
laces in a boot.
Ooh, tie me up, not so tight. Ooh, why so tight
it's very
today?
jokes.
This is a
Famous
good
laugh.
bit. This is a good bit.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I love you. I
love you.
thank you.
My pleasure.
If you don't have anything else to plug, I will plug me.
Oh yeah.
Look at how sad I just got right now.
I have one thing.
Oh, plug it then.
Follow me on Instagram.
Yeah.
Jackie Tohn.
At Jackie Tohn. We'll put it in there.
JACKIETOHN.
TOHN.
That's right, Jackie Tohn.
You know Cheeto Santino on all the platforms. Go to andrewsantino.com for all that stuff. And I'm not really... In June, I'm going to be in San Diego at the La Jolla Comedy Store. But for now, I'm kind of just bouncing around doing things and going on tour with Rogan. I'm doing arenas for the first time. Isn't that crazy? I'm going to do an arena with Joe Rogan. It's wild. Yeah, 13,000 people.
Say how many people I'm gonna
It's like 12. It's like 12,000, I think.
throw up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be gorgeous. And
It'll be
it's
incredible.
Just like when you go up at the store.
Yep, same thing. Same thing when the store has 400 people. 12,000. Same thing.
Kind of is, but what's the most you've played to? Well, you probably played
Thousands,
festivals,
a couple
yeah.
thousand, but that's nothing. Like, I don't think I've ever cracked.
10K is a monster number of fucking people.
Look at we just zoom in on me having a panic attack right now thinking about it.
Shit comes through the bottom of the chair.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So we'll see what happens. But thank
I
you.
can't wait.
Thank
Congrats.
you.
It's fabulous.
Air kiss me. Thank you.
Welcome.
Whisk, 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 whisk.
You were that creature in the ginger beard.
Sturdy and ginger.
Like vampires, the ginger gene is a curse.
Gingers are beautiful.
You owe me $5 for the whiskey and $75 for the horse.
Gingers? Oh, hell no.
This whiskey is excellent.
Ginger. I like gingers.